بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Welcome to this brief lecture or talk that I am going to talk or highlight on few points that had raised during the discussion for this week. And this week themes are research question, objective and variables. And before I go into details for this point, I would like to thank all of you for the thorough discussion and informative thought during this week. So this is what we call it the research process or the research cycle, which is endless cycle. You start with a problem through literature review, hypothesis, question, objective, design, sampling, data collection and analysis, and then writing a report, and this report generate another problem, and then you go for this process again and again. And that's why the word research indicate or mean search again. So its implicitly assume that the earlier search was not exhaustive and complete, hence a repeated research is called for. So the first point that I want to talk about is the research topic, which is the concept or subject or issue that can be studied through research. And there is two things we need to consider here before selecting a research topic. One is the need for the research topic, and two, the use of this research. And as you can see here, don't give people what they want, but give them what they need. And we need to think about the need for the research itself, as the ultimate aim of any research or study is to make use of the result. And if the result of a research cannot be used, that means there is no need for this research in the first place. Moreover, there will be like a huge ethical deficit, because one of the ethical standards of the research that it has to have a value, and you cannot expose people or participant, you cannot expose or use your time or resources for something that cannot be used. So think twice about your research. Think if it is it needed or not, and if it is needed, how can people use the result? Because if it cannot be used by publications, by policy, by improvement, then this can go into what we call it the gray literature, which is the unconventional literature. It's not beneficial for human beings, not human for, and not even beneficial for the science. So then we'll go to the resources for a research topic. And I think during the discussion forum, many of you mentioned sources for research topic, but generally speaking, we have 5 sources for research topic in health professional education, and the first one is theories. In social sciences and education, you will learn about specific theory, and you need to ask yourself, can I apply this theory? If it's already applied, is it valid? And what's the value of that theory? For example, like in problem-based learning, for example, there are 2 or 3 theories that can explain BBL, like social learning theory or constructive theory. So you can ask yourself if there is any other instructional method that I am using, for example, tutorial, Does it apply these theories? All theories in health professional education, when you read about them, there is an issue about the research, because these theories came to explain a specific phenomenon in education. And then you need to ask yourself, are they really applicable? Can they apply it in my context? Are they applicable to my student? So this is the first source for research topic, which is theory. The second source is personal experience. And education, it said that teacher research their work by asking, is what I am doing, is it good for my student? Is it good for my institute? Will it help in producing competencies and perfect professional? Is it beneficial to our community? So personal experience is an important source for research topic. And I'm glad that Russia mentioned that she wants to use simulation-based medical education as a topic for her research due to her personal experience with that as emergency physician. And if we don't question our personal experience and our work, then we are going to either be static or going to adopt and absorb things from outside of our context. And if you remember, in education, context is very important. And if you remember from the last week discussion, we explained how research in education is different from other type of research. And is that because of the issue of generalizability is not addressed so much in education and research because of the relation to the context. So another source or third source for research topic, which is previous studies. You may read a study in the literature and then you came up with a question that can I replicate the same study? Can I do the same study in my setting? Will I have the same result if I apply it in a different context? So this is how you use the previous studies as a research topic. It's just simply replicating study that had been done in a different setting or in a different environment, and you want to see if that will be applicable to your own setting and context. So another source for research topic, which is discussion, is that discussion with the student, discussion with your colleague, discussion in the community. A lot of topic can be used as research topic will come from discussion. And I remember our colleague Yasser mentioned that he want to use a research topic about the best way to write MCQs, and that based on the discussion that he had with his colleague in the previous course. Then the last source for research topic, which is literature. For research topic, we usually use reading for literature review, for article, for publication. When we read about something as like, for example, Nahid said that she wanted to do something about interactive lecture and successful lecture. She came with this idea because she read something about that, and then she wanted to start thinking, why she didn't do it as a research topic? But we always need to consider that the most important aspect of your topic is that it needs to be interesting to you, because you get to learn and write about it. A good topic is interesting to you. A good topic is narrow enough because too broad topic will not be able to cover it. A good topic should be broad enough because too narrow topic will not be able to find enough information about it. So this was about the research topic, but as you notice, it's all will be general or broad topic that we have to narrow and make it more specific so we can study it. So narrowing a research topic, you need to ask yourself, what do I want to know? What do I already know? And what does my audience need to know? This is one way to narrow a research topic, and I think the best example and the best approach to narrow the research topic that we ask ourselves the 5 W's. And then I'll give an example. The first one, who I am researching. I am researching about humans, profession, gender, age, animals. That's one way of narrowing the research topic. The second question, what? What am I researching? Am I looking for trend, for effect, for causes, for statistics, for problems? The third question, when? What time period am I interested in? I am looking for a specific date. I am looking for a century. I am looking for the current data. Is to consider when the topic became significant. And the fourth one, where? Where is my research topic taking place? Is it in a college, in a university, in a hospital, in a rural versus urban area? Is it in a state or in a whole country? And the last one of the W's is why. Why does my research matter? Which is consider what makes it important to you, to your colleague, to your community, and to the world. So this is the way how can you narrow your research topic. And then let us have an example to make it more applicable or practical. So let's take a research topic and we can say eating disorder. So this is a general or a broad topic, and if you want to write it, yeah, it will be very broad, non-specific, and you will not come up with any new. So you need to make it narrower or more specific. And then we'll ask the first question about who. So the topic is eating disorder, and then the question is who. So that means we are asking about population, about gender, age, race, for example. So if we apply this question to the research topic, we'll have a new topic, eating disorder in elderly females, if I am considering the age and the gender. So the next question is what? So remember, the topic is eating disorder, and my question is what? So I am asking about the type. Is it anorexia, bulimia, compulsive eating? So my new topic could be anorexia in elderly females. Then I can ask about when, which indicate about time frames. So remember, the topic is eating disorder, and the question about when could be a period of time, current or historical view. So I can come up with a new topic which is bulimia in middle-aged females. Then I can ask about where, which will be about the place. Is it a state, region, country? And I can just do a research topic like anorexia in Sudanese women. So I'm here taking the country as an answer to where. And then the last question is about why. That means I'm asking about either cause or treatment or outcome. So if I apply this to eating disorder as a topic, so I can come up with a new topic, successful method for treatment of compulsive eating. So this is the way how can we narrow our research topic. But why? Why do I need to narrow my topic? Do you want to have a slice or do you want to have the big cake? If you take the whole cake, you will choke. Definitely, it will be easy for you to eat and digest a small slice. So usually, if you want to do a good research, you need to have a small bite. Okay, but if the topic is broad, then the research question will be very wide and the objective would be wider and broader, and you will have too much variable. So after selecting the topic, you must work hard trying to narrow it in order to have a small bite that you can study and can produce good result that can be applicable and of use. If it's important topic, then you can do your research in phases, so it will ease the work for you. But don't try to have a big chunk. Usually have a small bite that can do, that will be doable, that will be of benefit, and that will be palatable. And remember, taking a small bite, otherwise you will choke. Then we have the topic, we make it narrow. Then we'll go to the next point, which is the research question. So for the research question, we want to ask ourselves an answerable question that we can study. This is one of the critical steps for conducting a valuable research. If you ask yourself the good and the right question, then you can conduct the right research. But if you didn't do that, your research will be loose and you will reach a stage where you cannot go back and you cannot go forward. So the research question should be structured in a proper way to ensure clarity. And as you mentioned in your discussion forum, there are a number of frameworks that you can use for constructing proper research question, which is the BICO, B-I-C-O, patient, population, intervention, comparison, and outcome. I can give you just an example for that. For like population, we can say in severe malaria patient. For the intervention is how does artesunate. For the comparison, compared with quinine. For the outcome, how does it affect the degree of parasarcemia or pyrexia or fever within 24 hours. So this is an example. So let's have another example which could be maybe related to medical education. So if we take the final year student as population, and the intervention will be like DREAM, DREEM, which is Dundee Ready Education and Environment Measure. Comparison, we can compare it with CLES, which is CLES, which is Clinical Learning Environment and Supervision Instrument. So the outcome is which one is accurate in identifying positive aspect of learning environment. So this is just an example how can we use PICO in formulating a research question. So research question, an objective. We all know there is research aim and there is an objective. And the research aim, which is a broad statement that indicate the general purpose of your research, and usually it should appear in the introduction at the end of the problem statement before the research objective. And on the other hand, the research objective are more specific than the research aim. They indicate the specific way that you will address the overarching aim. The research objective are action intended to answer the research question, and that's why we need to link and align the research objective with the research question. Your research objective must be aligned with the specific problem that you have identified that drive the need for your study and the knowledge gap that your research is intending to address. So your research question must be aligned with your research objective, and that's why the research objective needs to be far more specific, like higher resolution and actionable than the research aim. And in fact, it's always a good idea to craft your research objective using the SMART criteria. In other words, it should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bounded. One of the difficult tasks is to write a research is to align the research problem with the research objective and the research question, which makes sense to the reader. And how would you align the research problem and the research objective? This is a crucial part, and that's why we need to spend the time in in identifying the research question, link it to the specific research objective under the umbrella of our research topic. And usually we say that the research problem, which is, we can see here the third bullet, the research question, objective, and hypothesis. The research problem is always raised from a background where there's a gap between reality and expectation, and that's why the research question is formulated from the research problem, while the research objective are the goals that need to be achieved and are expected to be able to answer the research problem. So the research problem research question, research objective must be aligned and consistent with the objective under the study. In general, each research question should be linked and answered by at least one objective, and also reflect in your problem statement. If I achieve the research problem, then I answer my research questions. And that's why all should be linked and aligned. And then you have to ask yourself what variable I am going to identify for each research objective in order to target these objectives. And then last here, your research question will be the driving force throughout the research process, especially in the literature review and the methodology chapter. The importance of strong alignment. This is the importance of strong alignment. Alignment is the key word here, and we have to stress it's important. Simply, you need to make sure that there is a very tight alignment between all the three pieces of the golden thread. If your research aim and research question are not aligned, then what will happen? Your project will be pulling in a different directions and you will lack focus. And this is a common problem that student and researcher faces and can cause many headache and sometimes tears. So take time to carefully craft your research aim, objective, questions before going forward to your research. So maybe for the next few days we will try to have some exercise about writing research questions and objective, and I will just maybe open a new discussion forum in the Moodle, and hopefully you'll enjoy the rest of this week and the whole course. And just remember, this course main goal is not to provide you with theoretical approaches, just to apply what you have learned in a practical way and implement that in your research proposal. Thank you. Have a good night.